Last time you heard from her?
Yesterday morning. She said she was gonna see us soon. She was supposed to be back already. What are we going to do?
I am so sorry for your loss, especially under these circumstances.
I want to help him.
Thank you. He's a good boy, you know.
What is the matter with you? What?
Come on now, Sophia.
Mother! Sorry. The candle inside. I love French fries, I love sweet potatoes, baked potatoes, pasta, bread, garlic bread, rice, so that you can walk into your purpose as the leader of this family.
I will.
피아니스트인 사만다는 특별한 유산균을 알게 되면서 체중 감량에 성공했다는데요. 살이 빠지고 건강을 회복하며 그녀의 집에는 웃음이 끊이지 않습니다.
All right, all right. Now that's a reel right there. That is a reel.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Well, welcome to Skrill Town Talk. I'm your host, Mr. Skrill Town, and today we have our guest is going to be actress, director, singer, songwriter Samantha LaCroix. What's going on?
Hello, good to be here.
Yeah. Well, we're delighted to have you. I'm happy. We've been doing this series since the beginning of May. It's been going very well. Welcome to our series of Women in Entertainment.
Thank you so much.
So before I start asking a whole bunch of questions, let me tell our viewers a little bit about Samantha LaCroix. Okay, so Samantha was born in Vienna, Austria, where she began dance and piano studies at a young age. In Toronto, Canada, she added dramatic and operatic training? Okay.
Exactly.
She received her master's degree in piano performance from TCU in Fort Worth and continued private opera studies with Lili Chookasian at Yale School of Music. She toured is that New England? The Northeast. Okay,
Northeast,
she toured the Northeast with the Magic Lantern Theater Company and took classes with the American Academy for Dramatic Arts and the Broadway Teachers Workshops for several summers while working in local theater and improv productions in Florida. And then it says, since moving to Atlanta in 2020, she has played several leading and supporting roles in independent features, shorts, pilots, and web series, and has worked as a stand-in and PA on many union sets. So it says Samantha is represented by Barbara Garvey from the East Coast Talent Agency. She is making her directorial debut in the full-length feature film called No Stone Left Unturned. Wow, that's what I'm talking about. Welcome. Yeah. So how's things been going? Like on this, with you being the director of this new movie that you plan on bringing out, how's things been going?
It's been going great. It's really amazing to be a director. I never thought I would be doing that right now, but when the opportunity presents itself, you got to go for it, and I feel like, life prepares you for these things, even if you're not, even if you don't think you're ready, or, God got
you. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, and how did the opportunity present itself?
It was a friend of mine, actually, who I worked with on another series. He was a director there, and he sent me the script, and he said, "What do you think?" And I loved it. It's about sex trafficking. So it's a pretty serious topic. Yeah. And so it was, and he kind of wanted a woman's touch, and we talked, and he gave me a chance for my first time directing, but never filmed.
Yeah.
And we kind of went for it. and the rest is history. So. Uh-oh, I think you might be frozen. Uh-oh.
Now?
Yes.
Can you see me now? Can you hear me now? Okay.
Hi.
Okay. So let's go back to the younger days. What caused you, or what made you want to go into acting?
Ooh, I always loved, the thing is, I grew up around the arts. My mom's a concert pianist. So when I was little, I would play at her feet and she would get ready for her concerts. And it was really cool. It was just normal to me, and opera singers in the house, and all sorts of crazy people in Vienna, and it's just part of life. And I don't know, I always loved acting, but I didn't get into it until later. Because music was kind of what I was predestined to do, I guess, just because of my mother. My grandfather was an opera singer. My grandmother played the piano. My aunt played the piano and studied in Vienna. So it was like overwhelmingly music oriented.
It's a talented family.
Yeah, kind of. But I don't know. It just kind of kept calling me. And the thing is, I just love portraying other characters and finding them in me and me in them. And so it just kind of, the love was always there. So I think the first thing for me was starting opera, because opera kind of, you get into the characters. It's a little more shallow, but it's still there. So I think that got me really excited. And then from opera, that was the gateway to theater. And then eventually the gateway to film, which is probably my favorite medium now. So I kind of just like I said, God just kind of put you in these paths,
Right. Well, and then you've covered all of them, so you can always go back if you need to, and you can always portray any of them. You can do the opera, you can do the acting, you can now do the directing. So my question would be, like, what brought you to the United States, as far as that part of it?
Okay, so when I was 14, my family decided to move to Canada against my wishes. So that was really tough because, new language, new continent, it was tough. And I used to be incredibly shy, which is hard to believe, but I was very so things changed. So I think one of the reasons I am who I am today is because I did move. So then I went to school. So I did high school in Canada. I went to school for the performing arts. And, I kind of came out of my shell because of it. Because how can you be in a shell in a performing arts school? And college, in the States for piano. So that's why I went to the States originally. So my mom had found me TCU. The Van Cliburn Foundation, the Van Cliburn Piano Competition takes place there. And it's kind of like the Olympics of piano. It's kind of like the World Series. And so it's like a really big deal to go there. And so I found this Brazilian teacher who was really cool. And I was like, I want to study with him. So I went to the States to study. And then along the way, I found love with my ex-husband. And he was at TCU, and things happen. And then
that's part of your story. That's part of all of our story.
That's it. And then, I decided to marry the guy and stay. So I still have a permanent resident card. I'm still an Austrian citizen. I'm holding on stubbornly to my citizenship.
You can always go back. If the U.S. pissed you off, you can go back.
That's it. And we're part of the EU, so I can work pretty much anywhere in Europe. So it's like, you know what? I'm going to keep that puppy. And that's how I came to the States. Yeah, so it's again, very convoluted, but it all makes sense when you look back on it, Yeah.
So how long have you been acting, like, in roles, just in roles general, like not just leading, but supporting and so forth?
I guess I started in high school, really, at the performing arts school. So just because of the proximity to it all, I started doing the musicals, and I started, you know what I mean? And then I did a drama minor in school. And I was like, you know what? Drama's really cool. But then I still went to college for music because of the overwhelming music legacy of my family, so Yeah, and I just never really thought that, I'm short. I didn't look like the typical actress at the time,
Hmm.
so it's like, it just never occurred to me that that's something I could be doing.
Mm.
Whereas
Okay.
music was a lot more accessible, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anybody can do music. Now, I don't know if anybody can succeed in music, but anybody
maybe.
can get up there, yeah, and do music.
Yeah. It's obviously very difficult, but just because of the
Right.
legacy that we had, it just made sense. So I never even allowed myself to think that way, but it was
Hmm.
always there. It's
Yeah.
always been there. Yeah,
Right.
since I was oh my God, my dad and we used to do radio plays when I was really little. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just remember it. And I was like 4 years old. We still have the tapes. The audio
The
tapes.
VHS tape.
Actually,
Yeah.
audio,
Okay.
audio, audio.
Oh, the audio.
The
Okay.
cassettes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cassettes. And we would do these ridiculous radio shows, just me and him, and just
Radio
improv.
shows.
You know,
Hey, that got you prepared for now.
it did, it did. And then when I was 10, I wrote a play. I wrote my first play when I was 10. And my mom choreographed a
Wow.
ballet in the middle of it with my neighbor. We didn't have any boys, so she had to play. No, I played the boy and she played the girl.
Right, right, right.
So I guess it started pretty young. Yeah,
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you had that vision at 10 years old.
I guess
Yes,
so.
which is good. I mean, honestly, I started writing music at 9. So, I
There you
mean,
go.
it's
Right?
funny how that works where you pick up something early like that and you just continue
Exactly.
on as you go.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us, I'm gonna play a little bit of your director reel. Tell us a
Perfect.
little bit about some of the experiences you've had thus far as directing.
Ooh, it is exhilarating. It is extremely difficult, and it is extremely humbling to be a director.
Hmm.
And I can't wait to do it again.
Mm.
It
Okay.
What I love about it, what I tried to do as a director, which is unlike in a lot of films that I've worked in theater, you build a family. And
Hmm.
in film, you kind of just show up. You're like, oh, hey, what's your name? Okay, let's act. And then you kind of
Right.
run the scene a couple times and then you're doing it. So what I
Hmm.
tried to do is really build up a community as a film director. And I really enjoyed bringing that theatrical element into the film directing part. So I think I'm going to continue doing that and just kind of creating that family even on set, because eventually you do become a set family, but I just kind of wanted to accelerate the process and make it a little more
Right.
deep. So this way people really feel comfortable, and you're going to give me your best performance because you're we're friends and it's okay.
Right. It's just
You know,
not
and
a one time,
yeah.
like you see them one time they do they read a couple scripts and then that's it. You actually have a family, you get to know each other, and y'all build that
Yes.
rapport. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So I really love that about it. It was tough, with the scheduling and everything, but
Mhm.
I it was cool. And we filmed in the rain. We filmed, in a thunderstorm. Um,
Yeah.
it was it was
You gotta
intense.
watch out for that electricity now. Hold on.
I know. Yeah, we had the cameras covered in plastic. We're like, let's get the
Yeah.
shot. You know, and
You don't want
so
any behind the scenes magic going on with those thunderstorms when you mess with electricity.
yeah, it probably wasn't
Yeah.
the smartest thing looking back, but at the time, I was like,
Right.
get the shot.
Yeah, you need that
You're,
shot like now.
yeah, yeah, you're immersed in the world, and it's just like, okay, I'm here.
Right,
So
right. Okay,
yeah,
well, I'm gonna play the clip,
okay, cool,
and then we're
cool.
gonna talk a little bit about what you got going on right now. And what it. Hold on, let me make sure.
Okay, sweet.
The
Sounds
No Stone Left Unturned, but we're gonna play the clip first, and then we'll get on
left.
talking about that. Okay, so check it out.
Perfect.
Doors are open. Now, if you're new here, welcome, Sugars. She's never been broken in.
55,000.
65,000.
That doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah, that right there looked deep. Like And what's crazy is that until you told me what it was about, I was wondering what was going on when I watched it
Yeah.
before, and now it all makes sense.
Yeah.
So with that,
Right.
like, how did you come up with the concept of this idea?
So I actually did not write this movie.
Okay.
My friend did. So all I did was direct it. So, which is kind of really exciting as a first-time director, because usually you have to put up a lot of capital yourself. You have to write it. You have to create it. You have to hire everybody. So it was really nice to be hired on. So I kind of got to have that separation and kind of interpret the script rather than embody the script. So I think I was very lucky that way. So it was kind of the ideal situation.
So how do you get picked for something like that? Like, I know it's all about networking and stuff like that, but like, what made them pick you over someone else in regards to this?
I had worked with him as an actress, and he really liked my acting style. And so I think, and I kind of convinced him a little bit too. I was like, listen, I know I can do this. You got to believe me. And he just kind of took a leap of faith and went with it. So it was just one of those things, right place, right time, right person.
Right.
Why does anyone get picked for anything? But it felt right at the time, And
that makes sense. And that's all about networking, right? You met him.
It is. Absolutely.
You acted. He knew your style. He knew your work ethic. You can convince him just by what he's seen already. So that makes a lot of sense. So what's the day in the life of a director, like from your experience so far?
Crazy. The pre-production work was insane. We had a very small team. So I took on a lot of roles, like a lot of indie directors do. So you do a lot more than just direct, which in a way was also helpful, because this way you're really immersed in the project. And also our director of photography, it was his first film. So it was kind of like we were discovering, and we together developed the vision, developed what we wanted the world to be alongside the writer and producer. And so it was a very special time. It was a very stressful time. It was a time with no sleep. It was a time with hour-long conversations. And what we would do is, because of the budget, we would film for 3 days and then Zoom meet for 4 days. And so we would work on everything on Zoom, and I'd meet with every little group, and every scene I was going to work on, we would already talk, and then I'd meet with the crew. And so everyone would know what we're doing before we got there, so we could do it in the least amount of time. So it was a lot. It was definitely.
So is it a feature or is it a film? It's a feature. You said a film?
Full-length feature. Yep.
What's the difference? Because my knowledge, I don't really, because I talked to a PR expert the other day. And,
I saw that. It was a
you
great
seen that? Okay. Well, here we go. Yeah, we were talking. She was like, she was asking me about shorts, films, features. I only know about the shorts. I know what a film is per se, but can you explain that a little bit?
Well, a short is just basically a short film. It's just short for short film. So it's basically anything, that would not be, so maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes even, so we can go all the way down to microfilms that are like 5 minutes long. So that's kind of the short. And the feature film should be pretty meaty. It should be about 70 minutes, 75 minutes, over an hour for sure. 75 minutes. And it's just, so a short film can be used as a proof of concept oftentimes, especially for new filmmakers. So they might do a short of the project they actually want to do, and then you get funding that way. So again, that's something we could have done. So we kind of took a lot of risks with this project. We kind of just went full guerrilla, with new people, and just kind of went for it, So.
And how does that, with that, let's say, so the guy or person who gave you the script.
Yes.
Says, okay, Samantha, I want you to direct this film, this feature.
Yeah.
What do you do next? Like, being that you've done theater, is it the same as a feature, or like is it the same concept format, or is it different? Like, what did you have to learn from this process?
Yes, yes, and yes. For all the questions, it's the same and it's totally different. Did I learn a lot? Yes. So yes. So it's like, I don't really know how to explain it. You just kind of immerse yourself. And, because I've done so much film since I moved to Atlanta. I moved to Atlanta in November of 2020, right at the height of the pandemic, for this reason, Atlanta to be in film. So I bought the house I bought to be in film. I like everything I did was to be in film. So it was kind of almost the next logical step. And just, I went on set every single day. I worked on all sorts of sets, and as a stand-in, for example, you really get close to the powers that be. And you really get to, so I was just always watching and reading and learning and watching YouTube videos. And it's just kind of like a process. But then
when your heart into it.
Yeah. I don't do anything half-heartedly.
Right. Yeah, you put your heart into it because I mean, you invested, you committed to it. You bought a house. Most people so you went all in. I
had a plan. I had a therapist at the time because I was dealing with a divorce and everything. She was wonderful. Her name is Doris.
Right. Shout out to Doris. Shout out to Doris.
And she was like, Samantha, I love you, but you're crazy. And I was like, I get that. And we made a list. I always have a notebook, and this is just so ratty and disgusting, but I have them everywhere. And so, I'm like, but can you help me make a list of how to get to Atlanta? Can you help me figure out how to do this? She's like, okay. And we wrote down every step. And do you know what? Every single step came true. And we just crossed it off as we went. And next thing I knew, I was here. And so that's kind of how it's been. So it's like you make a plan, you think about it, you look at the steps that you need to do, and then you just do it. Yeah. So that's kind of how it was with the directing too. And so, first, and just get into the script. And so that's kind of how I do everything in my life right now. And it's like, and like I said, God is definitely a big part of my life. And so we talk every day, and he kind of guides me a little bit, and he puts people in my life, and he closes doors for sure. But then there's always a window, right? There's always that little cracked window. I will find the window. I will find the window, and I will crank it up. And I will go. So with the film, when I got the script, I guess I just read it again and again and again. We did the casting. I was a big part of the casting. Which
I was just going to ask that. Yeah, I was just going to ask that.
So as a director, it's really nice to be able to pick your cast. It's a wonderful thing. So you're already looking for certain qualities. And then we would Zoom rehearse a lot, even before the filming, and talk about the character and and also give them my trust, because I picked you for a reason. Yeah. I see that character in you and you in the character. So it's yours. Take it. I'm giving you full permission. Take it. We'll talk about it. We'll discuss your motivations. Who are you? Where are you from? Why? How? And then run with it. So that's kind of what I did. And if that makes sense. So it was unconventional for sure. And I had a ton of, my computer was just littered with lists and spreadsheets and breakdowns. And I didn't do it the traditional way at all. I did it my way, the way I knew from theater, and translated it to film.
And that's for how you were comfortable.
Yeah.
Your way is comfortable.
Yeah.
Makes it a lot easier and smoother for you.
Exactly. And it's like almost translating from German to English. The two languages, it's the same thing. Taking the theater and translating it into film. So they're completely different, but they're both languages. They're both ways to communicate. They're both ways to make people feel. They're both ways to portray something without saying a word. So theater and film are really different and the same.
So how long does something like, so how many minutes would you say your film is?
It's still in the editing room. So the 2023 is no longer true.
Right, I see that. Yeah.
So that was
I was like, that's where y'all started, but I gotta pick that off.
Nope, that came and went. So I'm not really sure. I'm thinking we have about 75 to 90 minutes depending on how
Okay.
we cut it and everything else.
So with that being said, how long does something like that take to film and to direct?
We started talking in May of 2021, I believe, or 2022. And then we filmed it in December of 2023. No, May 2022, film 2023. I don't even remember anymore. It's just a blur.
This is a blur. It's a blur.
May through December, then we had a couple of reshoots. We did like 2 days of reshooting because our schedule was so crazy. We tried to make the whole film in like 7 days, which is like insane.
Dang. Okay.
Absolutely insane.
Okay.
So we needed those reshoots. And then there were some issues, with footage and things like that. So now we're here. So who knows? I have a film, my first film that I really had a principal role. I filmed it in 2019 before moving here. It was one of the catalysts to make me want to do this full time. And it's finally coming out this summer. And we filmed it in 2019. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's premiering at the Atlanta Children's Festival in like a month. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's at the Seattle Film Festival right now being screened. And it's a feature film, and it took that long.
Yeah,
and then
it takes time.
It takes time. And then I just produced a different film, and we wrapped it, and we're already in editing and ready to spit it out. So it depends on each project.
Yeah.
And the team on the project, and who's the executive producer, because they're the money person.
Okay. Now we talking. Yeah, now you talking my language because I'm trying to understand it because I'll be lying.
Yeah.
If I
you froze again.
interested in doing some direct, how things work. So what have been some of the challenges that you've experienced as being in this industry, being a woman in this industry, moving from one country to a new country, and also moving from one area to like the big city, Atlanta?
Yeah, it's a lot. That's a big question to unpack. As a woman, there were many days where I was the only woman on set.
Yep.
So that's a challenge right there. I adore men. I think they're great. I get along with them really well, but sometimes it's a little tough when you're the only woman, or maybe there's like one other, or maybe two other women. And I think that's very prominent in film, especially behind the scenes. So that's something we definitely need to fix.
Absolutely.
I feel like, and it's a completely different energy. And sometimes, I hate to say it, there were times where I would have to tell several men, get them on my side, and then we could pitch it to the guy in charge and be like, well, they all agree. It's really my idea, but we're all going to agree. So now will you listen to me?
Yeah.
So that's kind of hard.
That's tough. Yeah, that's most definitely tough.
It's tough. It is tough. Or, there was a project I worked on, and all the men got paid right away, but the women were put on a payment plan. And it's like, don't I have
Aren't we the same?
The same? So stuff like that, that's a little bit, things that make you go,
most definitely. Wow.
Yeah. But there's also a lot of good things about being a woman. You don't have to carry everything. Although I do.
Okay.
But I always do. I carry my own weight. I try to be, but so it's a mixed bag. And as far as moving and everything, again, I think every experience that I've had has led me to this point. Both good and bad. So I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't change one thing. And there's been some hard times that I've had, and I wouldn't change.
Well, that's how you grow. That's how you experience and learn. I always say that the best way of like or getting a win, you have to lose or not. But in order for you to really respect that win,
but I think I caught up.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I'm pretty sure I cut out, but in order for you to respect the win, you have to lose first. and then you'll really appreciate how it is to be a winner. So it's stuff like that, those trials and tribulations that we go through that really
Yes.
help us and
And it
strengthen
forges
us.
iron, right? It's like a diamond, or iron. It has to be forged in really high heat, or,
Yeah.
so it's okay. And so my top saying is fail gloriously. Just do it. Just go for it. And if you
Yeah, go
fail,
for the gusto.
yeah, I've never directed before. Okay, well, I'm going to direct now.
Right,
I'm gonna
right.
go for it. I'm going to do it. It sucks, but it didn't suck. So, so it's like fail gloriously.
Yeah.
And it's the same with moving. Moving to Atlanta, I could have failed, fallen flat on my face. But it's like, you got to believe, you got to go with it and just take a risk. And one thing I learned later in my life is trust your gut. Because I used to shut my gut up a lot, and I used to, and I would know, it would feel so
Somebody
wrong.
gave us a thumb down. You see that? Somebody just gave us like, what's up with that? Somebody literally just gave us the thumb down. Okay.
Yeah, but it's like, you gotta listen to your gut. You have to. And so I guess with all the moving, and and also every time you move, you reinvent yourself. You keep the pieces of you that you like. You work on the pieces you don't like, and also people, you keep the people you love, and the people,
Yeah, the people that don't
you're in a
work out,
different
they just
country
don't work
now.
out.
It's okay. It's
Well,
okay.
one of the things I always tell people is that, okay, you can't convince somebody to see your vision, but you got to have that support behind you. The people that don't support you don't need to be behind you.
No.
So in a situation like yours, where you move to this huge city where all these moving parts are moving around all the time. You got entertainment, like you said, TV and music is all over Atlanta. And you go in there and you just hustle. And like you said, you've been on movie sets, you've been in webinars and all kind of other stuff. That's drive.
Network groups. Yeah.
Most people
Every day
that succeed, that's because of things that you're doing. They do it for the love of it, not for the money or the fame.
If I did it for the money, no. But the money will come. It'll come.
So that's what I'm saying. Who has been some of your influences on this journey of yours that has helped you and gave you the strength and the confidence that you could do this?
My parents, for sure, especially my mother. She's a beautiful woman, inside and out. She still plays the piano. She plays every day, 4 or 5 hours a day, tirelessly. Man. Yeah, and she made a CD when she was like 60. And and I want to do a documentary on my mom eventually, and the pianist. Yeah, so she's been a real driving force. My daughter is actually a great supporter, and so is my son, of course. But sometimes you have a special bond as women.
Right.
So she, so both of them really, but with her specifically, and same with my dad. He's very supportive, but there's something different about having a woman in your corner. But I love them all, very much.
Of course.
And then I've kind of developed a tribe. I've just found my tribe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People that believe in you, you believe in them.
And we're gonna level up together.
Exactly. Yeah, they're gonna win together.
Yeah. I really believe in that, and I always try to give back. Sometimes I substitute teach, and I'll always find kids. I'm like, if you want to be in film, sit with me in the corner. I'll teach you everything I know, and I'll give them lists of who to contact. I'm like, I want to give back.
Right.
And the higher you go, hopefully, the more you can give back. So that's definitely part of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got a couple more questions. One will be, for those who don't know about Samantha LaCroix, what do they need to know for the future as far as, what you do and how you've done it and what you plan on doing?
Look out.
Yeah, yeah. I'm coming.
I'm coming every day. I want you to know that I'm very hardworking, that I'm super passionate, that integrity means a lot to me, that my word means a lot to me, that I try to be as reliable as possible while being as creative as possible, and that the sky has no limit. And if you want to come soar with me, let's go. Because I'm
That's
ready.
what I'm talking about. See,
Right.
she's
go.
a grinder. She ready,
Let's
She
go.
ready. Packed her stuff up and moved to Atlanta. But that's what I'm talking about. Most people you hear, they's like, yeah, I'm gonna go down there for a little bit and then let's check it out. And nah, you was like, I'm going down there. This is my new home.
Got it. Yeah. We went up for the weekend. I took the kids. I'm like, can you live here? They're like, bought a house a couple weekends later. Moved over. Yeah, we did it all. Sold the furniture, got new furniture, moved in. Done.
Wow.
Boom. Next.
See?
Cross it off the list.
That's how you got to do it.
That's how you got to do it. But I think COVID really helped because, which sounds really terrible, but because of the, it sounds really terrible.
Yeah, that came out wrong.
Really wrong. But just like being able to do things virtually, it just kind of opened up the world more.
It did.
So it was easier to move, in a way. It would have been harder in a regular situation. Because what I did, actually, I started because I used to teach, so that was one thing I did for a while, was teach theater and music. And so I used that as a safety blanket. So I got a job here in Atlanta teaching virtually and moved with that. So I did have something. And then I started in the film industry while I still had that. And then, after the year was up, I quit the job and never looked back.
She was like, I ain't going back. Put in my 2 weeks notice. They cleared everything. We took our mask off. I'm good, y'all. I'm out.
I miss those kids though. They were so beautiful, and I cried. But it's time.
It is. You got to make time for it. Just like now, you got to make time. So speaking of that, for any up and comers, any kids, any aspiring directors and actors and singers, what type of words of wisdom or advice would you give them?
Don't have a plan B.
Ooh, that's a nice. You okay?
Just go for it. And again, feel gloriously. What do you have to lose? I mean, you have one life, right?
Yep.
So, because I meet people, they're like, oh, when I have this in place, and I'll do it. Right. Life happens, right? So it's like, just if you have a burning desire, go for it and try it. And, along the way, you might find, originally I was going to be a dancer. When I was little, that was my dream. Okay. Then my dream was to be a piano player. Then my dream was to be an opera singer. So it's like same field, but the dreams change depending on where you are. And perhaps eventually, like you said, I can combine it all somehow. Right. So it's like, follow your passion, follow your dreams, follow your gut, and don't be afraid to go for it, and be open, be a good person, because people don't want to work with prima donnas.
Reputation's everything.
Always be kind, always be giving. If someone gives you advice, give them back. I always try to elevate.
Yeah.
You can't always, but there's always, something you can find, a little nugget maybe. So
a little nugget, that's what I was about to say.
Find a nugget and give it back, and feel gloriously. Just go for it.
Feel gloriously. You need to make some t-shirts with that, because that's dope right there. Right? I like that. Get you some t-shirts. Send me a t-shirt with that on there or something. I like that. I like that slogan. Hey, you run for president, put that on the front of it, like, of course.
Here I come.
But no, that's dope. So for our listeners, viewers, anybody that's gonna check out this video, where would they find? Well, I'll back up. As far as your acting, and directing for this year and next, and then also where they can find you online.
Okay, perfect. I have 2 great acting projects coming up. I'm really excited about. I'm playing a mob boss in one, and I'm playing a detective in the other. So it's kind of
Okay.
both sides.
Hey, this is one world, you can do them both. So
Yep. Got a lot of premieres coming up. With the feature film. I've got 2 things on Tubi right now. It's a movie called Hail Mary, where I play a mob boss.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there's a series on 10. It's just a small part, but it's still pretty cool. Man Robinson, check him out. He's great. What else do I have coming up? For the first time, I found a project that I want to direct, like from inside.
Yeah.
I read a book, and so I'm in talks right now to convert it into a screenplay. And then I want to direct and produce and have a supporting role in it. So that's a big thing. It's just a short, but that's burning really much for me right now.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to my agent. She's amazing. So I'm always auditioning for, those kinds of things. So hopefully that will come.
And that's Barbara Garvey, right?
Barbara Garvey.
Shout
she's
out
amazing.
to Barbara.
Barbara rock. Barbara's amazing. I love Barbara. So she helps me find commercials and, the more big union set stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of hoping to accelerate that part too, keep the indie part going. The other thing I would say to people is have lots of multiple streams of income and multiple streams of creativity.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't just do union, I do non-union. I don't just do indies. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Don't be one-sided, what I'm saying, or one-dimensional, if you would say. Yeah.
Trying to go on with music as well as film, so that would be that. So you can find me on Tubi.
I'm gonna look up that tonight.
Premiere. Okay, it's called Hail Mary. And what else?
Is that Hail like Hell?
Like,
or is
Hail
it
Mary,
HAIL?
HAIL, like.
Okay.
Like the song, like the rap.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Hail Mary.
By the way, yeah, good song. Really good song. Very good song. So there's that, and I don't know. It's always changing, but there are definitely some projects in the works. As far as music goes, I just released a single. I'm working on an EP right now, so hopefully that'll come out. Might do a couple music videos. Dark opera pop.
Okay. Ooh, that's different. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm trying to bend a little bit, blend a little bit, find genre bending.
Yeah. What's the name of it?
The first song is called "You Left Me," and it's very sad, dark. Dark opera pop. So it's on all the streaming platforms. Anywhere you can find music, it's there.
And it's under your name, right?
And my name, Samantha LaCroix. You Left Me. And then the other ones, I'm going to even try to bring in a little bit of jazz or a little bit of country. And so, but always with the opera. So kind of like, I think that's going to be my thing, just kind of blending styles.
Right. Nice.
Yeah.
Gotta be creative, man. Like you said, just be creative.
If it feels right, try it.
Yeah.
All you can do is fail. And then if you do, fail gloriously.
There it is. Like I said, I'm waiting for my t-shirt. I wear a large now, so send me a large.
Merch.
Send me a large, man.
I love it.
Yeah, but no, we really appreciate the time tonight. I know you're busy, especially with all the acting and the rehearsing and directing. So I really, truly appreciate the opportunity to interview you tonight. For all the viewers, if you didn't catch it live, it will be rebroadcasted on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, and make sure you go and stream her music, Samantha LaCroix. Make sure you check her out and be looking for all the upcoming projects, because she is a multi-talented creative. That's what I would call that, a creative, doing it all. But we appreciate your time tonight, Samantha, and we'll most definitely stay in touch. And for the viewers that tuned in, Thank you all. Continue to tune in. We still got a couple of more shows before the week is over. You can always go back on our YouTube channel and check out any of the past shows as well. But enjoy your night, Samantha, and we will talk later.
Thank you. You too.
All right.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Have a good one.